Hi everybody, Sky Carl here again, and we're continuing on with our adventure in crystal radios. Now, in the last video I kind of just walked through what I thought about crystals and all that, and I said that starting on the next video we're going to get down to business, and that's just what we're going to do. Now, what I wanted to do here is I just wanted to give everybody, if anybody else out there wants to kind of go along with me on this adventure, build their own and do some experiments, I wanted to show you the stuff I'm using and how it's working, what kind of results I'm getting, and then, you know, and if you want to, you can comment or whatever and tell everybody else how you're doing, or do your own video. But so what I want to do real quick is I wanted to go over just a few things to kind of get you started. Now, I've got mine set up here in one little scenario. Matter of fact, if I hit this, that's my crystal radio hooked up to a small amplifier. If I can show you over there, right over here is the amp. I've got another speaker over there, and to be honest with you, I don't like listening to it like this. I actually like using the little earpiece, but you wouldn't be able to hear it. So I just wanted to show you that I am getting results with it, and I can turn the channel a little bit and see if we can find something else. Oh, nothing that way. Now that's, by the way, that's KCLW in Windsor, 800 AM. No, that's here in Toledo. That's that should be 1230. And what I've been doing is going through my different taps and my different coils. I wanted to see the kind of results I was getting, and I'm gonna show you that here in just a second. I'm gonna turn this back off. Now, if you remember the other day, I said one of the coils that I used, I'm going to turn this right here, is this one here. Now, I wrote down what this was. Okay, the green coil, I have that at about 50 winds, and the red coil I have about 60. The red is a little bit smaller than the green, and then the green is like a medium size of these 3 spools you can get. And in a little bit I'm going to show you the different parts to get, and if you go to Radio Shack you can get like these 3 spools together. This is the other one that I have now, and this is the thickest. This is the 22 gauge. I think the green is like 26 and the red's like 28 or something. So as the numbers go up, the wire gets smaller. So I wanted to show you that. But just today, I've been doing some experiments with the red coil by itself, the green coil by itself, and then I actually jumped them together so it became one whole coil. And I hit the taps in what I've done here. And you can do this if you want. I found this is, it's always good if you're doing any kind of electronic work, is keep a little notepad and write down what you're doing, especially when you're experimenting, because you know you're not going to remember all the things that you've done, and you're going to want to go back and say, okay, when I did this is the results I got, and that will just put you ahead of the next project you do. And it's a great learning experience. Now, for instance, today is February 24th. I put down the weather is overcast, and we've had rain and snow coming through. Then, and I put down where I started out this morning around, originally started out around 9 o'clock, so I've been at this for a little bit now. And I put down here that I had the red coil and the green coil hooked together. And then I've got taps on all of them. And I'm going to show you later on how to do that. What we'll do is we'll wind one together, and I'll show you the way I use to put taps in, and it works really easy. But for instance, I've got here the red coil is tapped on the antenna side in the middle loop, because I only had 2 taps on that one. And then I put down here like CKLW 800 is coming in strong. WJR out of Detroit is coming in strong, and then I've got 1230 here in Toledo coming in strong. So now using that, both those coils tapped on the red side, these are the results that I'm getting. And I just went on, and later on we're going to take and do one whole study. I want to get to some other things though to this morning in this tape before we do that. But just, you know, for a couple bucks you get one of these, and just take notes. Write down what you're doing. You know, it's kind of like your log book. You know, start date 2012 2/24. You know, Spock, I just received Detroit. Okay, so enough of that. And like I said, we will come back to this later, but I wanted to go over some of the things that you might want to go out there and pick up in case you wanted to do this adventure along with me, build your own. And I really hope that some of you do, and I really hope that I get some feedback on it and how yours is working. That's part of it, you know. Why tried this? Oh yeah, why did this? You know, and pretty soon everybody's gathering all this knowledge together, and it's fantastic. So with that, let's go to the other section where I'm showing you these different parts. Okay, here's a simple schematic of the crystal that we're going to start out with. And if you look over to the left, you see that line going up with a little arrow at the top, and that represents our antenna. Then next to that, we have the curly line, and that's our coil that we're going to wind. I got the tap sticking out of it. And down below, you notice that it's got the magnetic wire. You can get this wire in packets of these 3 at Radio Shack. The gold is 22 gauge, it's the thickest. The green is 26 gauge, and the lightest gauge is the red, and it's 30 gauge. Now next to that, we have our variable capacitor. And I don't know if Radio Shack carries this or not, but you can get them out there. Sci Toys, I know, carries a lot of this stuff. And what we want is a 0 to 160 picofarad variable capacitor. And that works perfect. And some other ones we're going to build may not have a variable capacitor at all. We might put a fixed in there and just build a tank circuit. We'll get to that later. Then up above that is the geranium diode. Now, we want a geranium because a diode is like a valve. It lets electrons flow one way and it doesn't let them come back. Geranium diodes, which were used along in the early days, it doesn't take as much power to go through it as the silicone diodes that we have today. And our silicone diode will work, but we want the best advantage of everything that we do. So try to find a geranium diode. You might even be able to scarf one out of an old radio or something. You'll find them. You notice that they're clear. They're not the black silicone, but they're clear. And that's something to look for. And it's got the stripe on them. And then last we have our the piezoelectric earphones. Remember, we want that type of earphone because they're a lot more sensitive than like the earbuds that we have today. Earbuds, they take too much juice to run, where these are super sensitive. So that's what we want to use. So keep that in mind. These are just some of the things that you want to get. Like I said, that SciToys.com, I think it is. They carry a lot of this stuff, and all of it's pretty cheap. But if you have this, we can start building. And you can go out and you can get wire from transformers, and you can dig around and pick this stuff up. This is what I'm going to be using. And if you're using something different, please report and let us know how that's working, so we can all kind of take notes on what's going on. So that's, just wanted to show you this real quick. So if you want to have the things that I'm using, this is it. And like I said, we're going to be changing as we go also. Okay, so we went over all of the different parts that we're going to need just to get started. We'll be adding some more, but those things there are the main things you need. Now remember before, another thing I mentioned, you want to have a lot of clips, and these things, these little alligator things, you can buy a box of them or a bag of them or whatever. There's like 10, 15, 20 come in it, depending on what kind you get. And they're cheap, and man, for hooking stuff up, just not on crystal radios, but on anything electronics. If you're working with a breadboard and you got parts you want to come off the board on, for the money, they're just wonderful. Now, one other thing, here, listen. This is one of those very sensitive piezoelectric earphones, okay? The regular earphones, the earbuds that you have for your Walkmans and your iPads and phones, they work differently. They take more power. They're almost along the same lines as small speakers. These are very, very sensitive, and they will help you pick up what you need to pick up on your radio. So grab yourself one of these, and there's several places out there you can get them. If you can't find them, I'll email me. I'll send you a link to several places that have them, and they're cheap. So that's the basics right now of what we need to do. But you want to get some wire, get some hookups, save a couple toilet paper rolls. They're great to roll on. Now on this one here, bottles, larger, like 2-liter bottles and 1-liter bottles. They're clear, like that coil I made. They look real nice. You can cut them off, roll it. Anything that we can wrap around. We're going to make different sizes too. We'll make some real small ones. We'll down the road use some ferrite rods and run them in and out and do our tuning like that. And on the next video, maybe we'll do a small coil, and I'll show you, like I said, how I tap it, and it works with any size. So keep that all in mind, and I really look forward to seeing you back here on the next one. I'm going to try to get this next one out, hopefully get another one out by the weekend, and we can get things rolling. So we can start listening to crystal radio sounds, like what we're doing now. Only we'll probably be listening through the earphones. Until then, take care, everybody, and I'll see you real soon. Thanks for watching.